NFL stadiums are home to some of the craziest and most energetic sports fans in the world. Fans pay big money to have a good time, drinking beer and screaming away as they cheer on their home team. But for fans who pay the big bucks to see the games, few things suck more than watching your team blow it in heartbreaking fashion. More specifically, it is a shame when you have to go from excitedly screaming at the top of your lungs to being left in complete silence over one play. I'm Joe Biondo, and today we present the 10 most shocking crowd silencers in NFL history. Number 10, Week 17, 2013. Randall Cobb wins NFC North for Packers. The Green Bay Packers and Chicago Bears met in Week 17 of the 2013 season. The winner would take home the NFC North crown, while the losing club would be eliminated from the playoffs. It was win or go home for both teams. This was an epic shootout between Aaron Rodgers and Jay Cutler at Soldier Field. The Bears led 28-27 late in the fourth quarter, but the Packers had converted on a pair of 4th and 1 situations to keep their playoff hopes alive. And with 46 ticks remaining, the Packers faced a 4th and 8 situation. This was their last chance, but hey, they only had to get into field goal range. Well, they did themselves one better, as Rodgers went for the home run ball and found a wide open Randall Cobb for the go-ahead score.
Blitz, Rodgers gets out, floats it, Cobb!
With that play, the thousands of fans at Soldier Field were left stunned, shocked, and silenced. The Packers' defense held off the Bears as Cutler's Hail Mary attempt on the final play was picked off. In just a matter of minutes, the Windy City went from rocking to completely quiet. Number 9, 2005 AFC Divisional Round. Mike VANDERJAGT missed field goal. After all of those heartbreaking playoff losses, 2005 truly felt like the year of the Indianapolis Colts. Peyton Manning had another MVP caliber season, and the Colts clinched the top seed in the AFC. They just needed 2 home victories to reach the Super Bowl. But the Colts were sloppy for 3 quarters against Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Indy trailed 21-3 in the 4th quarter, but they chipped away at the lead and cut it down to 3. The Colts turned the ball over on downs inside of their own 5, and the Steelers were about to punch it in for the game-sealing score. However, Jerome Bettis fumbled the ball and the Colts nearly scored the go-ahead touchdown. Good thing Big Ben made that game-saving shoestring tackle. Colts kicker Mike VANDERJAGT had a chance to force overtime with a 46-yard field goal attempt, but it sailed wide right, and Indy fans went from erupting like a volcano to pure silence.
To Tom. And it's no good! He missed it. Not even close, wide right.
Well, the Steelers went on to win Super Bowl 40, sending Bettis off into retirement on a high note. As for the Colts, they would win Super Bowl 41 the following year, so at least they got their redemption. Number 8, Week 10, 2010. DeSean Jackson's miracle at the Meadowlands. The Philadelphia Eagles visited the New York Giants in a critical Week 15 matchup during the 2010 season. The two clubs were vying for the NFC East divisional title. The winner of this game would lock down a playoff spot. The Giants led 31-10 midway through the 4th quarter, but Michael Vick and the Eagles rallied to score 21 unanswered points to tie the game. With 14 seconds left, the Giants had to punt the ball back to Philly, and things looked destined for overtime. However, DeSean Jackson took the kick, bolted past Giants defenders, and got into the end zone.
This year, waits. Jackson bobbles it, and now has to try and recover. DeSean Jackson, touchdown!
Thus giving birth to the Miracle at the Meadowlands 2.0. And of course, the number 8 silencer on our list. Number 7, 1998 NFC Championship game. Gary Anderson's missed field goal. The 98 Minnesota Vikings are among the greatest teams to have never won the Super Bowl. They went 15-1 in the regular season. Randall Cunningham, Chris Carter, and Randy Moss led an offense that scored 556 points, a record that stood for 9 years. And kicker Gary Anderson didn't miss a single field goal or extra point all year long. It truly felt like it was going to be Minnesota's year after decades of heartbreaking defeats. The Vikings led the Atlanta Falcons in the NFC Championship game by 7 points, with just over 2 minutes left in regulation. Anderson came out to attempt a 38-yarder that would have essentially put the game away. Except, you know the rest.
Well, that's a pretty good bet if you say, do you think Gary Anderson will make this field goal? The answer should probably be yes. 39 yards away, and it's not good.
The Falcons would drive downfield for the game-tying touchdown to force overtime. And in the extra frame, the other Anderson, Atlanta kicker Morton Anderson, would make a field goal to send his team to Super Bowl 33. Judging by their silence, you could just tell the Vikings fans knew their team would lose after Anderson's miss. Number 6, 2018 AFC Championship. Rex Burkhead sends Pats to the Super Bowl. The New England Patriots were aiming to reach their 3rd straight Super Bowl. Bowl, and their 4th in 5 years, and their 5th of the 2010s, and their 9th in the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick era. You get the point. All they do is make it to Super Bowls year after year. But for once, it felt like somebody not named Peyton Manning was ready to take down the Patriots empire. His name was Patrick Mahomes, the 2018 league MVP who led the Kansas City Chiefs to the top seed in the AFC. Kansas City trailed 14-0 at halftime, but Mahomes and the Chiefs rallied to score a whopping 31 second-half points. Not to be outdone, the Patriots had 17 second-half points of their own, including 2 late touchdowns to go ahead in the 4th quarter. But a Harrison Butker field goal in the waning seconds sent this game into overtime for Kansas City. The Patriots won the coin toss and got the ball first. Brady and the Pats kept converting on 3rd and long, and they eventually reached the Kansas City 2-yard line. A score here would win it. Brady handed the ball off to Rex Burkhead, who scored the game-winning touchdown that sent New England to the Super Bowl.
This has to be a run. 2nd and goal. To Burkhead. Burkhead to the end zone! Hello, Super Bowl! New England is heading back.
And with that, Arrowhead Stadium went super quiet as they endured their most heartbreaking loss in decades. The Kansas City Chiefs defense just couldn't make that one stop. But on the bright side, Mahomes and the offense provided plenty of fireworks to get the rowdy Arrowhead fans into it late in the game. It's just too bad they had to be silenced by Burkhead's game-winning touchdown. Number 5, 2003 NFC Divisional Round. Steve Smith stunned St. Louis. The underdog Carolina Panthers met the St. Louis Rams in the 2003 NFC Divisional Round. The Rams were 4 years removed from their Super Bowl 34 championship, but with Mark Bulger, Marshall Faulk, and Torrey Holt leading the offense, the Rams were locked and loaded for another crack at the Lombardi Trophy. However, Jake Delhomme and the Panthers weren't to be taken lightly. They kept pace with the Rams offense, and the game was tied 23-all heading into overtime. Carolina faced a 3rd and 14 situation in double overtime, but Delhomme wouldn't play it safe. He went for the throat and spotted his go-to receiver Steve Smith downfield. We'll let the crowd at St. Louis tell you what happened next.
Delhomme fires to an open Smith. Steve Smith is going to go all the way. Smith scores.
The Panthers went on to reach Super Bowl 39, where they would narrowly fall to the New England Patriots. But hey, at least they pulled off one of the greatest crowd silencers in NFL history, one that won't be forgotten. Number 4, 1992 NFC Championship game. ALVIN HARPER finishes off the 49ers. Candlestick Park was one of the loudest, craziest, and most bumping atmospheres during the 80s and 90s. Joe Montana and Steve Young turned the 49ers into the NFL's model organization. They took home 5 Super Bowls. Candlestick Park wasn't a quiet place very often. The 49ers, led by Montana, Young, and Jerry Rice, always found ways to win games. They always came through in the clutch moments. 49ers fans were basically accustomed to these nail-biting games going their way. They could always trust that this team would pull through. But the 49ers finally met their match in the 1992 NFC Championship game, when they hosted the Dallas Cowboys. Troy Aikman and company had a 24-13 lead in the 4th quarter, but the 49ers scored a touchdown to cut the lead down to just 4. And at that point, there was only 4 minutes and 22 seconds remaining. Momentum was on the side of the 49ers. Knowing their defense desperately needed a stop here, Candlestick got ultra loud, trying to force the Cowboys into a mistake. But little-known Cowboys receiver ALVIN HARPER put a giant hush over the Bay Area with the biggest catch of his life.
Aikman quickly. Pass to Harper. Harper off to the races. They're going to run him down, however.
3 plays later, Kelvin Martin caught a 6-yard pass from Aikman to put Dallas up by 10 points. The Cowboys had stunned the good folks in San Fran, and they went on to win their first of 3 Super Bowls in the 90s. Number 3, 2012 AFC Divisional Round. Jacoby Jones' Mile High Miracle. The top-seeded Denver Broncos hosted the Baltimore Ravens in the 2012 AFC Divisional Round. All spotlights were on Peyton Manning and Ray Lewis at this one. The former was trying to lead his team to the Super Bowl after missing the entire 2011 campaign due to a neck injury. The latter announced that he was retiring after the postseason. If the Ravens had lost, that would be it for Lewis's remarkable NFL career. The Broncos and Ravens exchanged touchdown drives throughout this thrilling contest. Manning hit Demaryius Thomas for the go-ahead score midway through the 4th quarter. The Ravens turned the ball over on downs on the ensuing possession. The Broncos proceeded to melt down most of the clock before punting it away with a minute left, and Baltimore was out of timeouts. They simply needed a miracle here. With just under 40 seconds to go, Joe Flacco stepped up and chucked a bomb down the right side of the field to Jacoby Jones. The Broncos secondary completely blew the coverage, and Jones had an easy walk-in touchdown that sent the Mile High City into a mile-high silence. All of Denver went quiet after that play.
Flacco stepping up and throwing deep down the far sideline. Caught! Into the end zone! Touchdown
The game required overtime, and Manning threw a costly interception to Corey Graham that would help set up Justin Tucker's game-winning field goal. The Ravens would go on to win Super Bowl 47 thanks to Jones's epic Hail Mary play that sent a giant hush over the entire state of Colorado. Number 2, 2015 NFC Wildcard Round. Blair Walsh's Miss Gimme. The Minnesota Vikings surprised the NFL world by winning the NFC North Division title in 2015, taking the crown from their longtime foes and bullies in the Green Bay Packers. Led by Adrian Peterson, a young up-and-coming defensive unit, and young quarterback Teddy Bridgewater, the Vikings reeled in 11 wins to win their first division crown in 6 years. The Vikings hosted the Seattle Seahawks, who had won the previous 2 NFC Championship games in the wildcard round. This was a defensive slugfest for 3 quarters, and the Vikings built up a 9-0 lead heading into the final frame. Seattle scored 10 unanswered points and held a 1-point lead with just over 2 minutes left. Bridgewater got the ball back and drove Minnesota deep into Seattle Seahawks territory. He was about to win the biggest game of his life. The Vikings then sent out ultra-clutch and reliable kicker Blair Walsh to kick the go-ahead 27-yard field goal with 20 seconds to go. Before this moment, Walsh had only missed 1 field goal between 20 and 29 yards in his career. This was as automatic as you could imagine. No boos, no screams, nothing. Just pin drop silence in all of Minnesota.
27-yard attempt. Jeff Lott is the holder. McDermott is the snapper. And the kick is no good!
I mean, this franchise has endured so many painful losses throughout their history. But this was supposed to be an easy win. Needless to say, Walsh wasn't the same after this. The Vikings would eventually release Walsh, and he continued to struggle following his devastating miss. Number 1, 2007 NFC Championship game. Brett Favre's costly interception. In what would turn out to be his final season with the Green Bay Packers, Brett Favre was looking to add 1 more Super Bowl to his Hall of Fame resume. Green Bay met Eli Manning and the underdog New York Giants in the NFC Championship game. As dominant as the Packers were at home, the G-Men were the ultimate road warriors. They dropped their season opener to Dallas, before going on to win their final 7 regular season road games. And of course, the Giants defeated the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the wildcard round, before upsetting the top-seeded Cowboys in the divisional round. The Giants and Packers played in what was the 3rd coldest game in league history. At the time, the temperature was recorded at -1 degree. New York kicker Lawrence Tynes missed 2 field goals in the 4th quarter, including a potential game winner in the waning seconds. The Packers got the ball to start overtime, and it just felt like the Giants' magic was about to run out. Then Favre threw an interception to Corey Webster, and Lambeau Field went into complete silence.
A blitz coming from the Giants. Favre looking for driver, and it's picked off. Intercepted by Webster.
That would be Favre's final pass as a Packer. Finally, Tynes would make good on a field goal and send the Giants to the Super Bowl, where they went on to defeat the New England Patriots. What other shocking NFL crowd silencers should we have included on our list? Join us in the comment section below. Make sure to follow myself and Total Pro Sports on social media. We post great content every single day. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps us out a lot, and we do appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around TPS though, subscribing is a great idea. We post great videos and awesome content every single day. As always, I'm Joe Biondo. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.